Hey guys, MCU Collector here with a new video. This video is going to be different. I am using my iPhone 11 Pro to try this, just to do one video with my iPhone, see how it actually comes out. If you guys didn't know, I use my Canon Rebel SL2, which is a DSLR camera for my videos. It really upped my quality. Before I did use an iPhone, it just didn't give me what I wanted in terms of the quality of the video. But with this camera, I just wanted to test it out and kind of see how it is. So this won't be a super in-depth review. There's lots of other great reviews of the Time Force Red Ranger from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, you know, especially like D Amazing. Go check out his review. This one's kind of more of a test, but hey, if you guys like the video, we'll continue on. But I'm reviewing a figure that I normally would not, because when I started the Hasbro Lightning Collection line, I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to get Mighty Morphin only. Well, you know what, I'll get Zeo too, because I watched Zeo. You know what, I watched Turbo too. Let me get Turbo. But then they started making some other figures, and I'm like, okay, well, In Space, the Psycho Rangers seemed really cool, and people like, In Space was a great season. Lost Galaxy was a great season. So I watched In Space. It was a pretty good season, because Turbo was crap. In Space was really good. I didn't get through all of Lost Galaxy, but pretty good so far. So I think I'm all in on the Power Rangers now. Forget it. I'm gonna get them all. I'm just gonna be a completist. It's a great time. So early in the line, we're only a year in. I can do it. I can make it happen. But here we have the Time Force Red Ranger. I think his name is Wes. Maybe I'm wrong with that. I have not watched any episodes of Time Force. I haven't watched the pilot or anything like that. The first episode I did for Lightspeed Rescue, so I'm kind of going through and seeing the first episode of every season just to see how they get their powers, that sort of thing. So Lightspeed Rescue kind of seems like a crap season so far. The acting is just horrible, but I'm getting way off topic. So anyway, Time Force Red Ranger, lots of cool accessories looking. He's got like 2 swords. It looks pretty cool. He's got a blaster. Head sculpt looks pretty good. He's a Red Ranger, so that's really cool. Back of the package looks like that. Nothing else going on. Side package artwork looks awesome. Speaking of the artwork, Toy Shiz did an interview with the artist. I forget his name. It escapes me right now, but go check out Toy Shiz's interview with the artist. It was really good. So let's open this Time Force Red Ranger figure out of the package, and he looks really good. In terms of accessories, we get the interchangeable unhelmeted head. We get the blasters. You can see here, it's got it's white plastic with a little bit of black paint and red paint on there. It's pretty good. Red paint on both sides there. We get this effect piece for the sword. I believe this is the same one that came with Goldar. We get additional interchangeable hands, so a right fist and a left thumbs up. So if that's something from the show, you guys let me know, but thumbs up seems a little bit odd unless it was something very specific, and maybe they do a lot of thumbs up in that season. You know, I'm not really sure. And then he has the sword piece here, which is actually really cool because it's 2 separate pieces, and then you get a red tip right there. You know, he is the Red Ranger. It's done in a plastic translucent clear color, I guess, or lack of color. A little bit of red there, but you get this painted line there. The handles are painted, and they do come together. So you see this little peg right there, ports right on in to come a double blade. So it's pretty interesting. Right here, you could see as I zoom in, it's got this little trigger piece. I don't know if it also doubles as a blaster, but I thought that was interesting there. And then as we get a close-up of the blaster and then a close-up of the interchangeable head, I guess it's a little bit bright, so there it is there. I think that looks pretty good in terms of the actor. Without having watched the show, I couldn't say for sure. He does look pretty pale in figure form though, but you guys let me know, what you think of it down in the comments below. But looking at the figure, looks really good. One thing though that really stands out is he seems very faded red compared to like the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger. That's kind of the biggest difference that I noticed in the color of the red. It doesn't look bad. It looks great because it's all uniform throughout the figure. It just seems faded, to me. We get these silver gauntlet pieces there, black stripe along there, and then I assume that's probably their morpher because it's not on this side. It is on this side. And then the belt buckle there. He's got a blue color there. That looks pretty good. Same thing that we see with all the Ranger figures, basically all reuse. Obviously these forearms are going to be new, but everything else is basically the same. The belts are always different. So we get the same articulation, everything going for it. Paint on mine looks pretty good. Now I know that there are a lot where this white V portion here looks terrible. So if you see more than one, really take a close look to see which one you're going to get or you're going to want to pick up, because some of them look really, really bad. Just a heads up, guys. Back of the figure all there. The helmet looks pretty good. The problem with the helmet for sure, though, is look how far down on the neck it is. Super far down. So we got another issue with Hasbro just putting these helmets just way too far down on those necks. So that's a little unfortunate. Let's zoom out and take a look at his articulation. With my iPhone, it looks like I could do a lot of this in one take or two, so that works out pretty good. Looking down, it's not going to happen because he's so low on the neck. I actually watched D Amazing's review on it, and I agree. You're just not going to get any movement, really. You can look up a little bit, but not a whole lot going on at all. Shoulder goes up very high. You can actually get it up pretty high. You get a full rotation, upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which gives you more than 90-degree bend there. Wrists swivel and they hinge. We get the standard butterfly joint, so you can get the arm to go back that much. You get some crossbody going a little bit in the front. You get the diaphragm joint, so tilt to the side that much, tilt to the other side that much. Going forward, not a lot. Going back a little bit more, but then you get the ab crunch going in there, and you can get both. He can bend down that much, which is great, and going back, he can go back way too far. So good articulation there. Legs go out super far apart. He does the full splits, which is good. And I'm trying to think if any of the other Rangers did a full split like that. I don't think they did. Kick up, he can go that high. Doesn't really go back. You got an upper thigh cut there. Double jointed knee, like so. There is a boot swivel there. You get a foot that hinges all the way down. Hinge up slightly, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So typical articulation that we see with all the other Rangers, but this one does seem to have a little bit more, you know, full splits. The shoulder goes up really high. Maybe I just have kind of a loose one. I mean, you know, they're not too loose, but they definitely have a little bit more range of motion. Next to the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger Jason and the Lost Galaxy Ranger, and I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. What's his name? I watched most of the season. I really liked the crossover episode with In Space when they fought the Psycho Rangers. That was actually really cool. Damn, I can't remember his name. That's gonna bug the shit out of me. But looking at the different reds, so again, he looks like a faded red, whereas, you know, Jason has a bright, deep red. Lost Galaxy almost looks like a faded red also, but maybe a little bit more faded from what it, you know, looking at the two of them side by side. You know, Time Force is definitely brighter red than Lost Galaxy. He almost looks like a pinkish color. So that's a little unfortunate. I haven't gotten around to opening this 2-pack yet. I will eventually. I don't have any other Red Rangers. I know the Dino Charge Red Ranger has been released. That was in Wave 1. I don't have that figure. I still need to get it. And then Beast Morphers Red Ranger. I see that one everywhere. Same with Blue. My Beast Morphers Blue. I haven't picked those up. I will eventually. But just to show you guys some Red Rangers together. Okay, so here is the unhelmeted head on there. And it feels like this definitely sits a lot higher on the neck than the helmet actually did itself. So it's kind of interesting how they did that. And I think that looks really good. Another thing I forgot to mention, I think there's a Quantum Ranger in Time Force. I was always confused why there were 2 Red Rangers in that season. And, you know, there's always a 6th Ranger. But the 6th Ranger is always a different color, whereas this one is also red, because the Forever Red episode in, was it Wild Force? That Forever Red episode, you know, both of the Time Force Red Rangers were in it, the Red Ranger and the Quantum Red Ranger. So I always thought that was interesting, but there you go. Head sculpt looks really good on there, sits higher on the neck, so that's definitely a plus. But he suffers the same problems. He can't look down a whole lot. He can a little bit. He can look up a little bit more, so it's better than nothing, but you know, I don't display my Rangers with their helmets anyway. I always display them with their... I put the helmet back on, but I didn't force it all the way down, so you can kind of put it on there. You know, it's not going to fall off or anything like that. Sits higher on the neck, and you know what? Don't you think that looks just so much better if Hasbro would do this? So if Hasbro ever watches any... Oh, well, I just pulled it off. If Hasbro ever watches any of my videos, please, on future Power Rangers figures, don't let the helmeted head go so far down on the neck peg, because that just looks so much better and you get full range of motion with it. So hopefully we see that. That's going to be the end of the review. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of the figure, what you think of the video if you watch my other videos, since this one's with my iPhone instead of my DSLR. Again, this is more of a test, but you guys let me know, how do you like it? Do you think it looks pretty good? It's definitely easier to do the review with this, with my iPhone, than my DSLR. We'll see how editing and things like that goes. But you know, it's definitely much easier with my phone. This will be in 4K. Whether after editing it's going to stay that way, I'm not really sure, but we shall see. But please do leave your feedback down in the comments. And that's it. So hit that thumbs up button if you guys like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Notification bell, of course. Get notified for all my new videos. And as always, thank you for watching.